Human, how have your quarters been for you? Hopefully adequate. I don't know why I ask. It's not as if I could or would provide anything better. But I do think that this should be more than sufficient. Good. I've been going over the data from the tests we ran earlier. It's certainly been interesting, if a little baffling. I'm still not entirely certain how to interpret all of this. Half of me thinks that I've been duped into abducting some sort of genetically modified organism, something designed specifically to appeal to every single one of my tastes. But that is hardly a scientific stance, to assume that the data you collect is false, because it doesn't align with your expectations. I've decided on a test to help me better understand your nature. It's not the most scientific test, but I think it should help me grasp what exactly it is about you that is so alluring. Follow me. Oh, and I realize you may have concerns about how long you've been gone. You don't need to, though. Standard procedure for extended examinations is to give you a normalization implant after you returned. While you have it, you and those around you will feel less inquisitive about your absence. After a month or so, I will return and remove it. By then, you and all your acquaintances won't question the time missed whatsoever. Oh, here we are. This test will take place inside our simulation chamber. Generally, it's used for entertainment during long interstellar voyages, but it will suit our purpose nicely. And there. This will be the setting of our test. Yes, well, I'm not very familiar with how humans do this sort of thing, so I had to use the little data I could scrape together to design the setting. A picnic at sunset is probably not the most inspiring setting, but... Oh, you're right. I never told you what the test is. It's, well, we are simulating a courtship ritual. What you would call a date. Just for science. I told you before that I wanted to test if humans can make long-term companions. This seems like a decent start. Based on my limited research, food consumption is a popular activity for these dates, as is doing things outdoors. And sunsets are supposedly romantic to humans. Was this incorrect data? Oh, good. Well then, shall we sit? Now, while I've done some research, I'd like to hear it from you. What do you usually do on a date? Interesting. So, it's a way to get to know one another then. An advanced matchmaking algorithm would be more efficient, but this does have its charm. In that case, please tell me about yourself. I'll just help myself to these, what are they exactly? I just took some from Earth. After leaving behind valuable metals of equal worth, of course. I see. Well, I'll try one. Oh, that's, gritty, and the flavor is, well, not like anything I've ever had on my planet. I'm reasonably certain it's edible for my species, but... Anyway, I'm sorry. Please, I'm genuinely curious to hear about what your life on Earth is like. Is that right? Charming. Yes, I see. Do you really? Goodness. I don't know if I could live like that. Well, that's quite enlightening. You certainly have interesting stories to tell. And you're more articulate than I would have assumed of a species at your level. It's a good sign. I gather that you're a touch, naive, but it's endearing. Like a... I think it was called a puppy? Omi? Well, no. This experiment is really more about you. You don't need to hear about my life. I suppose. Alright. There's not much to say though. I am a scientist, as you can tell. But my original field of study was astronomy. I only turned to xenobiology, the study of alien life form, if you didn't know, after my partner here left me for a human. It was so sudden, to be honest. I wonder if I'm being fair, assuming it's all because he was chasing some fad. I've never had the best understanding of relationships. Maybe he left because of me, and not because of your kind. You were, easier to talk to than I expected. I don't usually open up to people that quickly. Perhaps it is because of your pheromones. I don't know at this point if it's all humans or just you. But you seem very easy to be around. With that, on top of your enchanting physical qualities, I fear that I might start to become addicted. I wonder if that's healthy. Just imagine having a whole race of beings that are objectively more pleasant to be with than our own. If humans ever become widespread on my home planet, it could be the end of our species. No. Perhaps I'm being overdramatic though. It could simply be a matter of learning all the things that make you so special, and learning to mimic them ourselves. Perhaps being in a relationship with a human would make one a better lover overall. I'm astonished that this hasn't been researched more thoroughly. There are so many implications. But perhaps this is exactly the type of thing that got me into trouble. Overanalyzing things. Here I am, with a lovely, charming being right in front of me, and I'm just mumbling about research. You know, there's something I wanted to try. Honestly, I've wanted it ever since I first laid my eyes on you. Would you be opposed to a kiss? Well, in that case... That shouldn't feel as good as it did. How did you do that? With just your lips? Just to be certain, would you be considered an expert kisser by human standards? Really? So that's just pure instinct. You continue to astound me. The more I learn about humans, the more impossible their existence seems. If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to try again. I want to see if I can do what you did. It tickles. Hang on, one more time. Wow. I could spend an eternity kissing you. Listen to me, waxing poetic. You have an undeniable effect on me. I wonder if this is how he felt when he met his human. Well, I think I've learned quite a bit from this experiment. Much more than I expected, in fact. It makes me wonder, how much more is there to learn about your kind? And about you specifically. I doubt that even a whole battery of tests could reveal all of your secrets. Which makes me want to ask, is there much waiting for you back home? I know it's sudden, but I could bring you home with me. If you'd be willing to leave Earth, I could give you a life of leisure. We live in a post-scarcity society. There's enough of everything for everyone to have as much as they want. You'd never have to work just so that you won't starve. We only work for the passion of it. And I could take you around the galaxy. There are so many sights to see. I don't want to pressure you though. You have a life back on Earth, and it is not something to be ignored. If you have people that are important to you, and goals that you don't want to abandon, then... Oh, that's an enthusiastic answer. Well, that makes me happy. And perhaps a little sad. It's a shame you've been living a life that can be so easily left behind. But I can give you a better one. I will give you a better one. In that case, I'd better chart a course for home. It's going to be tricky to explain all of this to the Science Guild, but I think I can get away with writing it off as a long-term study. We may have to do some experiments just to keep up appearances. If only Hia could see me now. I'm ashamed to say, I said some rather nasty things to him when I found out about his involvement with a human. I have changed quite a bit in the short time I've been studying you. To think, now I'm bringing a human back with me. You know, now that I'm getting over my frustration about humans, maybe he and I could patch things up. I almost wonder if you could. If we could. It's just that, among my species, it's not all that uncommon for a relationship to involve more than two. Never mind. We can say that for another time. I'm glad I met you. It's strange that you've had such a powerful effect on me in such a brief time. I could almost swear you humans are supernatural somehow. I suppose at this point, anything seems possible. I went into all of this assuming I'd find some sort of fraud, but instead, I have found the most spectacular being in the galaxy. How incredible.